star boy who's fast becoming the star man, who wears that captain armband, is chasing down records held by Arsenal's main man. But will he make history this season? And will Arsenal, after 21 long, arduous years, finally hold their hands on the Premier League trophy? Talk about that and Erik Ten. Oh boy. In this episode, I'm Working for Glory. I'm joined as always by Craig.
Yeah.
And Matthew.
What's up?
We're going to start off at the Emirates. Arsenal fighting back. Well, I say fight back. The media says it's a fight back. If your team's ahead for 3 minutes, it's not really a fight back, is it? Well, Arsenal came back and beat Southampton 3-1 at home after going 1-0 down to some interesting goal. I'm going to start with you, Matthew, not with you, Craig, today. But obviously, when you saw that was that sort of headline or the flash up that Arsenal 1-0 down, and then kind of thinking with Arsenal's ambitions for this season, what were your thoughts about that in terms of the game?
You know what the funny thing is that at the time I was actually watching that game. I was actually there. So when the goal went in, I was in another room and I heard the goal. I goes, oh, is it Arsenal? I was like, no, it's Southampton. And I saw this goal and I was like, what's going on? I was like, what's going on? But over the passage of the game, you heard that, like, you know, Southampton, no offense, whatever they're doing right now ain't working. This whole playing from the back is clearly not working, so they need to stop doing it. So to hear them go ahead was quite a bit of a surprise. But I think they frustrated you a little bit for parts in the first half. They're struggling to find that, you know, that final pass into the goal and getting in position. Sterling wasn't really working out. Jesus, if you're going to win, if you're going to have that crown trophy, he's got to start bagging in some sort of way. But it was a shock lead. Did I think it would last long? No. I thought it would last longer than 3 minutes. But, you know, with a team like yours, you know, if you go back all those years ago with teams that are wanting to win a Premier League, you know you're not going to win every single game in the way that you want it to. Sometimes there are setbacks. You're going to have to fight back and show that kind of mentality and strength that, like, okay, this has happened, we can come back and we can do this. Who scored it? Is it Havertz scored the first goal?
The equaliser, yeah.
Yeah, in the first goal, he's your clutch man. But who was the one that gave the assist? Was it Saka again?
Saka got 2 assists.
Saka got 2 assists as well as a goal. So a great turnaround for him, great weekend for him. But it's a mark to show. You've been doing it for the last 3 years. From when you first did it a couple of years ago, last year, and here again. You're clearly a title team in the title frame. You know, the response says it all. And, you know, after everyone talking about the whole Palmer and Saka thing, you know, Saka comes up, Palmer did it one weekend, Saka, you know, does it another. It was also interesting the fact with Ramsdale coming back to his old stomping ground as well. That was going to be a good conversation. And obviously, you know, it's not so much his fault. More of the defense is frankly rubbish. And yeah, but it was a good fight back. It was a good turnaround. You know, you're definitely in that kind of convo. It's just unfortunately 2 other teams were in that convo as well.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Obviously, this title race, we know it's going to go down to the wire with Man City, Liverpool also pushing very strong this season. So it's going to be interesting to see who can kind of step up and stand out more. And I do want to talk about Kai Havertz. I want to talk about that goal, the equalising goal, particularly Craig. And I think what we're starting to see, and I'm glad we got a Chelsea perspective because I want to bounce between the two of you, but what we're starting to see now is a player who's clearly playing with a lot of confidence and a lot of belief in what he can do, and is doing stuff which I've seen him live. He did not have this level of assuredness to his finishing against Chelsea, even though he did score 2 goals against them last season at home. I was there. It was a great game. But he didn't have the level of assuredness. But yet today, or on the weekend, you saw that in how he took that strike. Talk to me about like how he has been, especially that goal, and what that might mean for him this coming season.
I honestly feel that since we've moved him from centre mid last season to number 8 into more of a number 9, a false 9 or number 9, I feel this game's taking his game to the next level. I mean, he must be working on finishing and training because he's getting better and better at his finishing. Sometimes he misses an easy chance, but he's taking the harder chance. It seems like he's scoring the harder chances now. Like the one on Saturday was a hard chance to score. The way how he hit the ball was a hard shot. That could have gone anywhere. He hit it clean and it went into the bottom corner. Bottom corner. I feel like he's getting more confident. He's playing with under a manager that wants to win something. No disrespect to Chelsea, but when he was at Chelsea, he had 5 or 6 managers or 4 managers in that season. Tuchel was the best manager, got the best out of him. Tuchel and Lampard got the best out of him. If anyone wants to disagree, they can disagree. Well, I thought Tuchel got the best out of him. Won the Champions League, scored a winner against Man City. Chelsea never saw that Havertz again. Let's be real. And they never saw that Havertz, that Champions League winning Havertz, and they never saw it again. I honestly felt that when he was at Chelsea, they didn't know what his best position was. They played him up front, they played him up wide left, they played him wide right, they played him as a number 10. They didn't believe in him. And Arteta saw something special in him. I said, I'm going to give him a chance. And he gave him a chance last season, and he's taken it with both arms. He's broken the record set by Van Persie, I think it was. Van Persie.
He's equaled it.
Equaled that record that scored in 6 consecutive games, I think, home games, I think it is, in the Premier League. You only can get better. He's only, how old is he now, 24, 25?
25.
See, he's not in his peak yet. He's still got a couple more years to get better and better. So, and he doesn't get injured. And one thing about Havertz as well, a lot of people don't give him credit for as well. The guy's never injured. He's more reliable than Jesus. Jesus is always injured. He'll pick up a sneeze and he'll get injured. So there we go. Argument done.
Man said pick up a sneeze and get injured. I need to relax. No, but I think, availability is a great thing. I know we talked about Reece James in previous episodes. We've talked about how, as highly as you rate him as a player, as much as he is very good, you can't put him very far in these debates about who's the best right back if he's not available. With Jesus, he's got a lot of physical ability. And I think this match, I don't think he was as bad as people, the general sentiment of his performance, I don't think it was that bad. I think he just was very wasteful in his finishing, but I think his approach play was good. I think he did a lot of useful stuff for the team. Obviously, you saw the difference when Havertz kind of took up the more central position forward. Same with Sterling. I think they both had good moments in the game. Just unfortunate. Obviously, Sterling got fouled in the build-up to the first goal for Southampton. Should have been given as a foul, but you get some, you don't get some, and the rest is history. But I do want to just focus on Havertz again. So, he is about on the verge of equaling that record held by Robin van Persie of scoring in consecutive games at the Emirates Stadium. So it's so actually I think he's matched it now. So he's 7-7. That's what he's got right now. So next match, if he scores again at home, he will eclipse Robin van Persie's record. And all the Arsenal fans say,
I haven't scored again. 60 million down the drain. Nah.
I was going for yay, but we'll take that. Anyway, but for you, Matthew, I guess on that note, obviously we've talked a lot about Havertz and the difference between the Chelsea Havertz and the Arsenal Havertz and the way how the manager is utilising him as almost like this auxiliary false nine, attacking midfieldery hybrid type role. But how important do you think it is seeing him perform at this level for Arsenal, where he's the main man now and he's delivering on that and seems very settled in that role and responsibility?
Yeah, it's good for him. It didn't work for us. And one thing I'm not is sentimental. I'm not going to go around baying and crying for Havertz, because when he went, quite frankly, I was quite happy because for both parties, it wasn't working.
You thought he was going to flop, didn't you?
Huh?
You thought he was going to flop at Arsenal, didn't you?
Where's the trophy?
Ooh.
All this talk is great. He's doing really, really well, and I'm happy for him.
But also, by that same token, you've not won anything in the same length
So
of
we're
time.
both terrible.
No. We are on the verge of something. You guys are still in development phase.
On the verge still means failure.
It don't mean failure.
It
does not mean failure.
At least when we fail, we do it properly. If we're going to go for something, we'll go hard. Remember that year and then got relegated twice? We go hard, mate.
Anyway.
No, but in all seriousness though, no. It's good to see that he's actually able to see what he's able to do. It was never going to happen with us. Never going to happen. The moment Tuchel left, because that year after we won the Champions League, it started off so well for him. He had Mount, he had him, he had James, he had Hudson-Odoi, all those players linking in really, really well and coming under a fantastic system. But then it all just kind of petered to the third of that season. It was 2022. I ended up finishing second or third or fourth or whatever. Couple of finals domestic finals didn't make it, but we won the whatever. And then the turmoil came when new owners came in, old owners came out. Bowley, and he came in where they prepared for a system but didn't suit him or the manager. So that 1 year there, you're not surprised that all those players left because nobody knew where the team was going to go. But it's nice to see that shot. You saw that shot, that first goal. He meant that shot. That was a shot of frustration. Because it's an acknowledgement that maybe Arteta said or shouted something at them where it's like, this can't happen. And then that goal came and that put the fire in. But he is He's your clutch man. Whenever you need something, he's there and he will do it. It could be penalty, goals like that. You know, he's very talented young lad. It was just clearly best for both parts that he left. And if anything, he deserves silverware for that return. He does deserve it. Whatever silverware that's going to be, I don't know. But he's really improved from last year, and it's only been a handful of games. And he's already doing better because remember there was inconsistencies he had last year. And if anything, these first 4, 5, 6 how many games? Is it 6 games now? 6 games? No, 7 games. 7 games.
Yeah.
He's already made a massive improvement from when he first started playing a few games. So yeah, he gets that next goal. He's off. He's gone.
Yeah, he's flying. I think what I love about that goal as well is the way he hit that shot. I mean, Saka wins the ball back on the right, and then plays it to him pretty much first 2 touches in, passes it to Havertz, lets the ball run across his body, takes it with his right foot to lose the defender, and then before Ramsdale could even get himself set, hits it. It just kisses the post and goes in off the post. And I just the way he hit that shot reminds me a lot of a goal Van Persie scored. Many a goal he scored.
Yeah.
Where he's just hit the ball hard, low, quick, early, so you can't really get set as a keeper, and then the power just beats you. And that was a kind of goal that said, look, we're not here for this. Even the celebrations, like, we're not here for this nonsense. What do you mean? You mean Southampton scored first on our patch? Move, man. But speaking about a man that definitely was in the mood and sent people to the shop a few times, Bukayo Saka, 2 assists in this one. Brilliant ball for Martinelli's goal to make it 2-1. Superb cross, and they're making a great run. As I alluded to in the intro, Bukayo Saka's this season, let's just bring up the stats real quick, because I think it bears mentioning, because, the star boy is becoming the star man. So far this season, out of 7 games, he has 7 assists in the Premier League. Cole Palmer has behind him has 5. Wilfred Ndidi has 4, alongside Mohamed Salah. Nicholas Jackson has 3, with Bernardo Silva and Jadon Sancho. And then 8 Nouri, Jared Bowen, and Buonanotte all 3 have 2 apiece. So Saka is leading the way. And I brought up Saka and I brought up the main man. Obviously, it's Thierry Henry. The current assist record in the Premier League is 20 in the season, held by Henry and somewhat De Bruyne, but De Bruyne got it in the COVID season in Liverpool won the league. So, but anyway, they both have 20 goals. That's the most. 20 assists is the most in the Premier League season. Bukayo Saka is on track. Craig, do you think he'll make it, or do you think it will probably even out with his assists?
No, he'll make it. Guys, it's a clutch. It's a clutch. Like, he came up from I think what happened in the summer with the Euros disappointment. He's come back this season and said, you know what? I'm at a stage in my career now. I need to start winning big trophies for Arsenal and England as well. It didn't work out. Even the 2 Euro finals, lost both of them. Not his fault, but either of them. Was asked to play in the system where it didn't help him. Didn't help him at all. Playing wing back didn't help him. Now he's back at Arsenal. Mikel put his arm around him. Edu, the whole Arsenal family put his arm around him and said, "No, what, star boy, show them what you can do this season." From the first game of the season, that goal is scored against Wolves, the guys has been on fire. That free kick he scored against, Atlanta, that's taking responsibility. Odegaard, that captain's been out injured. Hope he gets back fit soon. The guy wears the armband like he's been a veteran for 20 years, playing football for 20 years. The guy is just like oozing with confidence. He has Raheem Sterling there. Apparently Raheem Sterling's going to come and take his place in the team. Not on his watch. The guy wants to play every single game. He hates to get taken off in matches. When he gets taken off in matches, he doesn't want to come off the pitch. The guy is just... This is advice to any young footballer coming up who wants to be a professional footballer. Watch Bukayo Saka. Watch what he does on the pitch and off the pitch. You don't hear him in the newspapers falling out of nightclubs or getting into trouble with anything. He just focus on football. That's what you young players need to do. Focus on football. Forget all that nonsense out there, distractions or whatever out there. Just focus on football. The guy cared about football only. All he wants to do is score goals and win trophies for Arsenal and play well for England. So long may it continue, and well done, star boy.
Yeah, he's definitely pushing hard. Matthew, what's your view on that? Do you think he will make it this season, or do you think it's probably a year too soon?
He's going to get very close. I'm talking 17, maybe even 18. Because I was talking to another Arsenal fan about this, and how old is he now?
23. He had his birthday on Sunday.
Oh, well, happy birthday to him. He's 23. That which tells you all you need to know. That guy is 23. And he's already a captain. He's clearly a leader. He's got a massive influence. He's a nation's favourite. There's a lot riding on his shoulders. And the reason why I said I don't think he's going to reach it is that because you look, he's so precious to you at the moment. I don't think a lot of you guys even realise that it's like he's guarded. He's like he should be almost guarded with that kind of security, where he's playing all these England games, and sometimes you find him playing games where he shouldn't be playing. If you want the best out of him, you want to keep him out of those games where something bad could happen. No offense did he play against Bolton?
He did.
Why is he playing Bolton?
Bolton, yeah.
No offense, why is he playing Bolton? He doesn't need to be there at Bolton. You've got more than enough to see that team off the way that you did without him. If he's going to hit that peak, and if he wants to chip in with more goals, 7 assists already, 7 assists in 7 games. If you want to be chipping in more and more and more, and then to beat that record, there's got to be a point where it's like he is that vital in the team that you've got too much riding. Like an example with what is it? I know everyone's playing this whole thing with system football and team football, but sometimes you got to go a bit maverick. You got to go a bit off the edge. I remember watching they said something about Hazard. I'm going off the tangent for a bit with Hazard, where everyone tracked back, not him. Why? Because he was the one that wins games. If Saka's getting you 7 assists in 7 matches, he's clearly the one winning you games. If he's not scoring them, he's making them. So if you want the best out of him, he needs to be kept in tip-top, like at the peak condition. Not just to win the trophy, but to beat that record. If he's hell-bent on that record, certain games you can't be playing.
Wrap him up on cotton wool.
I mean, you don't want to necessarily do that, but considering how vital he is to you,
yeah, sure.
You might have to do what you got to do.
Indeed. Just to clarify, Bukayo Saka's birthday is on the 5th of September. They were celebrating his birthday itself after the win on the weekend. So they went out to a little restaurant in Mayfair, celebrate his 23rd birthday. But his birthday did happen a few weeks ago. It's tough as footballers, you can't even get to celebrate your birthday on your birthday.
True.
It's crazy
isn't it?
But, it's good news for them. For him, it's good news for Arsenal, doing what we need to do, staying where we need to be, right around the top few places. But one club that we're definitely not expecting this result this weekend, I'm going to go to Chelsea. A very bizarre 1-1 draw in a game where you drew to a team with 10 men. You found out it's harder to beat a team with 10 men in this day and age. It's much, much harder. No, we had 10 men.
And they couldn't beat you.
I tried to spin it.
It's true. In this day and age, the man getting sent off means nothing.
Yeah, but the second,
you might as well park a bus there.
Look, we are not going to compare Nottingham Forest to Manchester City. We're not doing that. Nah,
I just did.
I'm sorry, but there's something wrong with Chelsea.
Ain't nothing wrong with Chelsea. We just didn't bloody score.
We were falling off.
Just didn't bloody score. No, we didn't. We didn't score. We didn't. We had a lot of chances. To be fair, they've done another away masterclass. Just like with Liverpool, they set up too well. Defensively, they set up too well, and then Robert Sanchez gets something he doesn't like, which is a big old striker. And I'm still not convinced about Sanchez. He's like an octopus. He's just like an octopus. Oh, I don't know. It's like his head goes sometimes. He doesn't concentrate. I just feel less trusting. But again, Enzo, if he backs him, he backs him. And there were a lot of chances in the game. I don't know how he even stayed 1-1 with so many chances. Sanchez actually pulled off some good saves. Sells was having a game of his life. We just can't seem to beat. I think we can't seem to beat Forest at home. We haven't beaten them since they got promoted. So, but I'll be lying if I didn't expect more from my team who's done so well at scoring. Even if it was going to be a hard fought, maybe even a rubbish win, I was like seeing we got 1-1. I was like, all right, cool, here we go. Let's go and get another one. It just didn't happen. They're a bit of a booger. And we got another test coming up after the international break in Liverpool. So that's going to be a real test of what we have and to see if the hype train, if it's still going to go on. So I'm not angry. I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed because that game shouldn't have stayed 1-1 more than our sake. We should have won. in the most bizarre red card. Does anyone remember, what was it? It's a soccer aid game, Boris Johnson.
Oh, and he ran at the...
I half thought thinking, is that Boris Johnson? I'm like, oh, it's so bizarre. Wait.
Yeah,
What?
he ran, because he ran headfirst into the player and then tackled them and got sent off for it.
And
that was Boris, yeah.
Wait, didn't Ward-Prowse send in the cross for the goal? He sent the cross for the goal. Whenever Ward-Prowse does something like that, he always either scores or he makes a goal. Because the last time he did something like that at Chelsea, he scored.
Free kick.
Yeah, he took a free kick in the game off of Chris Wood. Yeah,
Southampton, yeah.
Ward-Prowse likes playing against Chelsea. So if from what I remember, because I didn't see the game, if that's the case, if he was involved, I ain't surprised.
Yeah, it's just a very, very strange, really. I just think it's just like one of those games that you just don't really know how to call. Craig, how do you see that going? Obviously, it's just a bizarre situation for Chelsea to come away with a draw from a game where you would have really thought they would have pushed on a lot more and gone to get that win. How would you see? Do you see that happen?
I think at home this season, they're struggling at home this season, but away from home, they're very good away from home, Chelsea. I don't know if Matthew would agree with that.
No, we've won every away game we've had, we've won.
I think away from home, there's less pressure. The fans are not getting onto them. They can play their football. There's more space for them to run. Like Sancho has more space on the ball. Cole Palmer has more time on the ball. Or they're more clever, intelligent players. They've got more time on the ball and they can do their thing. At home, I feel like they're under a lot of pressure and teams have worked out how to play them at the bridge.
I tell you what, though, so if his club have any more issues with goalkeeper Nottingham Forest, they could play him in goal. That's a great tackle. It's a great save. Red card. No, the red card from Ward-Prowse.
Yeah.
He caught the ball really well. I mean, look, it's egregious. Like, what on earth are you doing? But if you want to do that, then I think just put him in goal next time.
Yeah. One thing as well, shout out to Nuno Espirito Santo. Like, the guys recovered from the bad spell he had at Tottenham. He came back to the Premier League with Nottingham Forest, had a good spell at Wolves. A lot of people don't give him credit for what he did at Wolves, but he did a great job taking from the Championship to the Premier League.
To the Europa League as well.
Got some great Portuguese players. Now he's doing a similar job at Nottingham Forest, East Midland club. Been a big history, 2-time European Cup winners. Can't forget that. Just like Chelsea, 2-time European Cup winners. So they're big. Nottingham Forest is a massive club. Maybe a sleeping club where they haven't won anything for a long time, but they're still a massive club. And where they are this season, they're doing quite well. And they got some good players like Hudson-Odoi has really improved. Alanga's getting better. I like Morgan Gibbs White. I think what a player he is.
Good player.
I like Murillo, the centre back, the Brazilian centre back. I think he's just class on the ball. Like, he puts his life on the line. Every game, he puts his life on the line for that team. You know, they got Matt Sells, a good goalkeeper, veteran goalkeeper. They got a decent team, Nottingham Forest. You know what I mean? And they're doing better now. I know Steve Cooper laid the foundation down for them to get promoted from where they were in the Championship, getting promoted to the Premier League, kept them up. Didn't work out from the second season. They got rid of him, brought in Nuno, and Nuno just kind of elevated, saved them from relegation after they had a poor introduction last season. And this season is just coming in pre-season and just turn them into hard to beat. They beat Liverpool. They got a draw against Chelsea with 10 men. So they're going to be a hard team to beat this season. We got to play them very sooner or later. See how that game goes. So all I got to say is well played Nottingham Forest, Chelsea, back to the drawing board for the next game. Who's the next game?
Liverpool.
Ooh.
I'm not worried.
We'll talk about that at the end. But I do want to read out the Premier League table before I get to the next team we talk about. I'm just going to talk about the bottom 5 first. Then we'll do the top 10. So in 20th position, we've got Wolverhampton Wanderers on 1 point. Then Southampton also on 1 point. Crystal Palace in 18th with 3 points. Above them, Ipswich Town in 17th with 4 points. Everton in 16th with 5 points. Wow. Now, to the top of the table, we have Liverpool in first with 18 points. Man City and Arsenal both on 17 points. And Chelsea on 14th points in 4th. Aston Villa also got 14 points in 5th. Brighton Hove Albion in 6th with 12 points. Newcastle United in 7th with 12 points. Fulham in 8th with 11 points. Tottenham Hotspur in 9 with 10 points. Nottingham Forest and Brentford both on 10 points, with Forest 10th and Brentford 11th. Now, you might have noticed as I read those names out, there's one team I haven't said yet. I'll continue. In 12th place, we have West Ham with 8 points. In 13th place, we have Bournemouth with 8 points. I'm just going to go down a bit. In 15th place, we have Leicester City on 6 points. And just above them, in 14th place, we have Manchester United with 8 points after 7 league games. This is their worst start to the season since last season. So Erik Ten Hag is out here breaking records, the kind of records you don't want to set as a manager, especially not a Man United manager. But he has gone 2 years in a row with Man United's worst start to the season in history.
Wow.
Let's give him another applause. I mean, 2 fails so spectacularly and still have a job. It's astounding, really. And let's talk about them. Their hard-fought 0-0 win against Aston Villa away at Villa Park. And I say 0-0 win because Johnny Evans was man of the match. I think seeing Evans and Maguire at centre-back was quite a surprise for a lot of people pre-match. You know, when you got the likes of De Ligt, you got, you know, all you got Martinez. Nope, bench for both of them. But hey, look, that's what he went for. And in a one sense, you can't argue with it. It worked. They didn't concede. But at this stage of the season, that's now their 5th game they've gone without a win. It's not looking good. It's not looking good at all.
Looking good, bruv.
Not looking good, bruv.
Craig, how do you sum up the state of affairs at Old Trafford?
I said it last week to you. We were talking about it last week. It's a shambles. Absolute shambles. Like, Man United have been dominating the Premier League for so long. In the 90s and 2000s, they dominated the Premier League for a long time. Under Sir Alex Ferguson. As soon as that man retired, that harvest is gone. They have not won the domestic title since 2013. 2013.
It's a long time.
This is the same Man United team, yeah, that when Eric Cantona used to play for them, and when they went to Anfield back in the day, and they said to Liverpool fans said, come back when you win 20, and they came back and won 20, and they were boasting in front of Liverpool fans that we won more than you. If you look at Liverpool, went to their ground, beat them, destroyed them, like a training game at their ground. Tottenham went to their ground, who lost against us in the league game, and training game again, beat them. Fulham were very unlucky to lose that game at home. And at Old Trafford, that game, that should have been a draw. They missed so many chances for them. Brighton beat them away. Danny Welbeck just loved scoring against Man United. Maybe punishing them for their selling him. Like, I think it was very bitter for the way how they sold him, because he was a good player for them, good academy player, scored goals for them, worked his socks every week. Even Wayne Rooney said that why did they get rid of Welbeck, and he was the captain at the time as well. So Man United's been in a mess for a long time, and it's not going to get better. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse until they realise like they can't be throwing money every time the team is struggling. They need to look at the youth. As I said to Clive the other day, they need to look at the youth structure, because the academies one up there, some of the best academies in world football. They've got so many good young players in the academy. But what's the point going out there buying a man, like an example, like buying a De Ligt for big money, when you got an academy player that can do the same job as De Ligt, maybe even better than De Ligt.
Yeah.
Experience in the Premier, knows how to play English football. No disrespect to De Ligt, but De Ligt is not the quickest defender in the world. He's not quick. I remember he played for the last international break. He made 2 mistakes against Germany. He played the next game and got sold off at half time. So De Ligt's not the same player. The De Ligt I remember that was the best De Ligt I remember was the Ajax De Ligt. That was the best De Ligt ever. Before he went to sorry.
Yeah.
The De Ligt that went to Ajax was a good De Ligt. Then he went to Juventus, didn't work out Juventus. Then he went to Bayern Munich, didn't work out Bayern Munich. Now he's come to United. The guy had 3 big moves in his career in 3 massive teams. All 3 of them won European Cups or Champions League, as you want to call them, whatever.
Yeah, but he's trying.
Not good enough.
Look, he's 7 games in. Let's give him at least 15. Come on.
I'm not saying it's a bad
I'm
sign.
saying give
I'm-
Ten Hag and De Ligt 15 games.
Yeah. Give them more games. Yeah. We don't mind. We don't mind.
More like 30. Let's give him 31 games.
Yeah, let's just get the season out
Let's
of the
get
way.
the season out
Give
of
him
the way,
38
man.
games. Yeah, give him 38 games. Yeah,
31
man. Yeah,
games.
man.
Sure.
Give him 38 games. Yeah, man. Don't worry. You did a good job, Ten Hag. You did a great job. Where's to stay forever?
What a
Sign a
man.
contract for life.
But speaking of that, I guess,
What a man.
because he's been in charge now since 2022, start that season. We're in the 24-25 season. That's 3 years now. As normal manager, I'll talk about in a bit later. He's been at a club for a while and it's not really paying dividends, but we'll speak about him a bit. But then do you think, Matthew, especially with Van Nistelrooy there as assistant,
Yeah.
do you think the seeds have been set for them to just do a little switcheroo? But Van Nistelrooy didn't really do well in his last job.
I think they'll be watching the models of all these other clubs that have taken on these younger managers with risk, and they're probably thinking he's a club legend. He's someone who had a great reputation at the club. He scored well at the club, scored in those big moments, and played under a manager who was quite literally holding that club together like glue. Because since he went, the cracks, that glue's now gone and the cracks are showing. A bit like what you guys did with Arteta. You took that risk, and a lot of other clubs have taken the risk with younger managers. You know, Bayern doing it with Company after a not so great season with Burnley.
Yeah, Scott Chelsea.
Frank Lampard at Chelsea, which one went well, the other one didn't go well. You know, Pirlo off in Italy. They're thinking about it because that's the way you go. The Galactico managers, that era now is gone because they're not going to come without money, and they're not going to stay forever. They're going to be there 2-3 years. Boom, out, done. Why not invest in something a little bit more sustainable, which is what football wants to be right now? Arteta's probably going to be there for a while. Frank Lampard should have lasted longer. It didn't, but that's because Roman was there. And fired him, once or twice. They'll be thinking, and plus, they've already done it. They've already done the whole club legend thing with Ollie. And how long was he there for?
Okay, let's ask a bigger question because, like I said, I want to talk about one other manager before we end this podcast because I got a lot of thoughts about this manager, but I'll get there. With Man United, because they've tried all the approaches. To be fair to them, they tried the stable option in Moyes. It was probably a bit too soon. Didn't work. They went the big name manager twice with Van Gaal, Mourinho. You could argue with both of them, it was successful to an extent because they both won trophies. Mourinho won a treble, and I'm counting it as a treble because the Charity Shield does count. And Van Gaal won the FA Cup and was sacked before the final, but that's neither here nor there. So just disgraceful. But anyway, but he still managed the club and then found out afterwards he lost his job. So those two. And then they went you could argue they went 3 different project directions. Ralph Rangnick was a strange one, but I get it in principle because this is a guy that understands about clubs. So they thought, let's get in a guy that's a club builder and maybe then he could kind of put some infrastructure in place for us to then bring the new guy in and just grow from there. That didn't quite work out. They went down the route of club legend, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I felt like it was going somewhere. But then, as is often the case with Manchester United, the wheels on the bus, they go round and round, and then they fall off after a season. And then they went for Erik Ten Hag, and he's won a cup. He's won 2 cups now. So he is justifiable to say, look, I've won trophies here. Like, I'm doing my job. But we all know that with football teams, you really judge your progression on your league form. And Man United's league form is just not picked up at all. They've made decisions. They spent money on players. I don't know why. Like they've been unfortunate with injuries. Tyrell Malacia, where is he? Is he okay? Is he in witness protection? Like, I'm joking. That's some weird rumors online. But where is he? He's been injured for how many years now? Almost 2 years. Ridiculous. Luke Shaw can never stay fit for Man United. So that's just a dead end. They can't get a midfield balance, right? No matter how much money they spend on it, it's just not working. It just doesn't work. They just cannot get a 3 or a 2 and a 1. They just can't figure it out.
And Kobe Maynard is struggling now as well because it's famous average, well, not average, but has-beens, isn't it?
It's not about has-beens. It's like when you put the expectations on a kid in footballing terms to run your mid. We're not talking about him playing for Southampton. No offense to Southampton, right? We're not talking about him playing at Bournemouth, Ipswich, Nottingham Forest. These are clubs where you can understand where you have a younger player in midfield. You know, they're developing, they're learning. It's like Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
West Ham don't play young people in midfield. That's to tell you a lot. Their midfielders are all grown men. They don't have no youth team players in there. Think of it, West Ham midfield. They don't. Right?
True. Facts.
This is Man United. I know I'm happy for their failure, but this is still Man United. This is a club that has defined English football for decades. A brand where you could go in a random country in the world and just say Manchester, and they will not end it with City.
No.
Boofy. They will end it with United, right? So it means something. I know they've had the class of 99. They've had that mix. They've had a history of bringing through young players, but you bring them into stability. There's no stability there. And that's just midfield. I didn't even talk about the attack. What attack?
Non-existent.
What attack?
You're boring him,
You've got Anthony on the right who couldn't buy a good performance, even if it was on eBay and he was the only one bidding.
Amazon Prime.
You still wouldn't get
Amazon
it.
Prime.
Right? On the left wing, you've got Rashford who just can't find consistency. He just can't find it. He tries, but he can't find it. And even when he does do well, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
So he just feels like, well, nothing I do is good enough for these people. And then you got Garnacho, who's good, but he's young, so you're going to get inconsistencies. And then you got the new guys. And then you got Mason Mount.
Oh.
That's it. Nothing more to be said. That is it.
Money Maze.
Money Maze. Literally. That's it. Moving on from him. Then you got obviously you got Bruno, who burns, like you said last week, burns hot and cold as a leader, doesn't always lead you where you want, throws hands up towards at the prime, whatever. Then you got the front options. Sex, young, we'll see how it goes for him. Very much raw, not there. Hodgland, same. Bit more experienced, bit more refined than Zex, but they're both the same. They ain't there yet. And you look around that team and you think, who constructed this bloody squad? This is like a squad that's coming in. And if you got Ahmad as well, who, again, promising young player. But where the people that are going to turn around and say, look, guys, this is Manchester United. This is our standards. This is how we play. Casemiro, put the Casamigos down and start playing football properly. Manuel Ugarte, put a foot in and start playing football properly.
I honestly feel that like the owners, Ineos have to start making, they've spent an awful lot of money in the summer, you know. Over 100 mil, over 100 mil in the summer on 4 players? No.
4 or 5.
Mazraoui, De Ligt,
Ugarte,
Joshua Zex.
It's over 100, almost 200 million they spent in the summer.
And it's not working.
Oh, and Lenny Moyo. Yo-Yo. So 5.
Euro. And they spent over almost 200 million. I think they spent 200 million in the summer. But then they got, not disrespect here, but they got rid of Scott McTominay, who could score goals in midfield. And now he's balling up for Napoli now. He scored 2 goals yesterday.
Did they get rid of Fred as well?
Fred, I was season before that.
Fred was before that. But yeah,
well, Fred was a big game player. He did well in the big games. You get rid of that kind of in that midfield, and Martial, well, let's not talk about him, but you get rid of them type of players like McTominay, academy players who know how to score goals for United in big games, and you replace him with duds. Like, and you expect Man United to do well this season? No, man.
They got rid of the most Manchester United player in that team, in Scott McTominay, because that's what he was, like you said, he was brought up in that fold to understand like what it meant to play and wear that badge. And even though he didn't do it all, he didn't have the best performances all the time. You see that he left it out there on the pitch. The most Manchester United guy in that squad, and you got rid of him. And he's balling, like you said, balling Napoli. And you put the responsibility onto people, but don't get it. That's where the big problem lies. You could talk about people like a Rashford, but because of his so much inconsistency, he's often seen whether the club have his best interest. The other club are going to turn their back on him and have faith in someone else. You're getting a bunch of players who come here, and I've said it once, I've said it again, they've got a good-looking shirt, but that's their positives done out the way. They have a nice shirt. Those players look good in the shirt.
Yeah.
But you got to look good on the pitch while being in the shirt as well.
But Matthew, one thing I've got to say to both of you guys, I've been watching Rashford recently. I've been watching a lot of his games. The guy creates so many chances for the team and they don't score. So if I'm a player and I'm creating chances for you and Matthew to score, and you're missing chances, the chance of the shot. Like Zertsky missed, I think the other game against not yesterday, the game before that Man United lost against Tottenham. Rashford was creating so many chances for the guys to score. Got to the wing, passed to Zertsky, easy to tap in, misses it. Pass the ball into the box again, misses. Garnacho missed it, open goal. Rashford should have at least 5 or 6 or 7 assists this season. The first game of the season, he could have scored it onto the Garnacho. What did he do? Missed an open goal. Remember that game?
Yeah, put it wide.
So I'm telling you, Rashford is doing his job. The manager keeps on taking him off at half time and all this nonsense. And yesterday, I think he took him off at Aston Villa. And I don't know if you saw the reaction when he said, "Oh, this man has gone mad." He said that yesterday. He's gone mad.
Said it.
He said, "Yeah, I saw it on Instagram. You know, like the little clips." He said after he got taken off, he said, "Oh, this man, he's gone mad."
But you know what's interesting? Ten Hag said it because he was concerned about him getting a second yellow card in the match. And I mean, yeah, that's the reason you're going to say, fair enough. But yeah, I think we can see there's problems there. And we can see that what they're trying to do on the pitch isn't working. Now, you could argue again, a draw away to Aston Villa is not the worst result in the world, considering what Aston Villa are doing in the last couple of seasons. Actually, it's a good result.
A good result,
very good result.
I mean, we beat them there. But I'm just saying, it's a good result for them. But you have to sit back and think also for Man United, is this enough? Does this look like, okay, let's give him 3 more games. Are we going to see positive improvement? Or do you really feel like, let's just pull the Band-Aid off and let's just start afresh? Because at one point, you have to look at it and say, is it the manager or the players? Which one do you think, Matthew? Manager or the players? Because you've been there where it's kind of been a bit of both. But how do you see it with these lot?
This could be, not to be on the fence, I think it's a bit of both. If anything, I think it's more of the players. I think it's a bit more of the players because they've changed around, they've chopped and changed over the last season for the likes of Varane going and the likes of, Fred going, Finn going. All these players that are gone, David De Gea, they lost him as well, which seems absolutely crazy as well. I think it's more or less more on the players because despite the fact he's come in and won 2 trophies with his team, league-wise, they're still poor. The performances are still poor. The identity is still poor. There's nothing suggests. The only reason we know they're Manchester United is because it says it on their blooming shirt and on their stadium. But the identity and that fear factor and that reputation that they've built kind of is gone to the point that a team like Wolves could go there and, not Wolves, sorry, Fulham, go there and were unlucky not to win, I do think Ten Hag, some of his decision making isn't the best, and I think when he talks in the media, he's almost as bad as Ange, But I think some of that anyway. The whole Rashford thing. Another proper Manchester United guy. You can't get him to fire. But I do genuinely always think it's the players. Why? Because they're going there to earn a wage. They're not going there to play. So they're willing. This club is all. If anything, it's the club's fault because they're willing to pay these guys to sit there and look good in the shirt. We're like, oh yeah, playing Manchester United, reputation, Beckham, Ronaldo, and all that stuff. They're living off the nostalgia and the reputation, but they're not willing to put in for it. That's what that is. And occasionally, they might luck themselves to like a 1-2-0. Was Fulham their only victory? They've won another game, haven't they? They beat Fulham. Did they beat someone else?
Yeah, they beat Southampton 3-1 or 3-0 when Rashford scored 2 goals. Rashford scored a good goal.
Yeah, I mean they're getting all them 2 wins, and they obviously got the draw in Europa as well.
Yeah,
I think there's fault on both sides. There's fault on a lot of sides, but I think I'm gonna say it's mostly on the players, mostly because I wanted him to stay a little bit longer.
I honestly feel Matthew. Yeah, I feel like when I asked that question about he's lost the dressing room. Ten Hag's lost the dressing room.
He's losing it.
He's lost the dressing room now. I think he's lost the dressing room last season. The reason why they won the FA Cup last season, to be honest with you, Man City were poor on the day. Man City were very poor in that final. I watched the final with my friend. They were very poor in that final. I just feel if Man City had stepped up the levels in that final, they'd beat Man United in that final.
I don't know if he's lost it. I think he's losing it.
Yeah.
And the reason why I don't think he's lost it is because there's not been any leaks of any weird quotes in newspapers at all.
Yes.
And that happened. Yeah, but that happened a lot. End of Potter's reign.
Yeah.
End of Poch's reign. End of Lampard's reign.
And Emery
twice.
as
Well, I mean, we knew he was going. Didn't need Emery's reign. Yeah, I'll give you that. And also Ollie,
Yeah.
and that was crashing and burning. There's a lot of little things coming out. So I think we haven't seen that yet. That will be the indicator to me. But although to be fair, if we want to name one defining moment of Erik Ten Hag's reign at Man United, that I think from that point on they really should have just drawn a line under the sand and said this ain't it. So Ronaldo did the Piers Morgan interview. To me, that whole situation, that should have been it. He has never ever done that in any other club before. Ever. And he's played for big clubs and he's left big clubs. He was at Real Madrid. Well, he left Man United initially, left Real Madrid, left Juventus, left United. You've not seen him say anything like that in his previous transfers. It's just this one when he made a fuss to say this ain't right. It says a lot. But
another thing is, I think Man United are not a league team. They're a cup team. They're good in cup competition. They're not good in the league. So he's got a cup squad. He hasn't got a league squad to sustain a 38 game season to get into the top 4. I don't know if you guys agree with that. He's won 2 trophies 2 seasons.
Yeah,
but you can't do it in a consistent 38 game season. You can do it in a cup competition because he's got a cup team. Man United's a cup team now.
I think if you're calling them a cup team, I think that's basically saying it's done.
But they are. That's facts.
Who do you see as the replacement if they get rid of him? Because I think he'll still be there come international break.
Oh yeah, he's not going anywhere at the moment. Like he's living off of that 2, like you said earlier, he's living off of that 2 trophy thing. 2 trophies in 2 years. You know, as a manager looking at that on paper and that return, that's not screaming much of failure. Plus, he's still managing to qualify for Europe at the same time with a squad that can't play together. So if they're managing to do that, you're looking at that as a club. Like if I would say I don't know, hell, if I was Spurs looking at that, I wouldn't stop talking about it. I wouldn't stop talking. What are the odds, right? What are the odds this year he does it with the Europa League? What are the odds? Trifecta, go for it. 1, 2, 3. It's not impossible. We didn't have them winning the FA Cup in the first place, but and it won in spite of the fact that it was a terrible final. Bro, I fell asleep during that final, and then Kobe scored.
But if you were to replace him, who'd you pick?
They've already lined him up in Van Nistelrooy. They've already lined it up. That's exactly what they're gonna do.
Great. Do you think it's him or do you think it's gonna be Southgate?
I said to you a long time ago. I said to you from the start of the season, if you bring up, I said Van Nistelrooy. They brought Van Nistelrooy to replace him. They didn't want to sack him, give him the sentimental values, or whatever. Because Man United don't like to fire their managers apparently. So
he's cheaper too.
But it's cheaper than to get rid of Ten Hag, get rid of 1 or 2 of his coaches, and bring in Van Nistelrooy. Just move him upstairs and move Van whatever his name is, Ten Hag out the door through the back door, and Van Nistelrooy just go upstairs and do his thing.
Well, we'll see. I do want to talk about some women's football stuff because I was at the Emirates on Sunday to watch my team drive me to the most boring 0-0 defeat I've seen in my... I know it was a draw, and I said 0-0 win, 0-0 defeat. I know it was a draw. It was a 0-0, but it was like so turgid, so pedestrian. Do you know what it felt like? Because we all went to see Arsenal women versus Chelsea, Stamford Bridge last season in the league. Great occasion. Love the pretty much entertainment. Have to say, Arsenal fans louder than Chelsea fans. Just saying.
1-0.
Yeah. So again, he's right. They did thrash us 4. Was it 4?
4-1.
3-1.
Might as well have been 4. Anyway, they did thrash us, right? But the way the team played on that night is the exact same way they were playing on Sunday. Pedestrian passing, lack of movement, lack of urgency. Facing a mid-block, being given the opportunity to go wide, and then the cutbacks weren't happening, the crosses weren't happening, a couple of efforts hitting the top of the goal, over the bar. They had a shot, keeper saved it onto the crossbar. That's Everton. But aside from that, I saw nothing. And we've been talking about Ten Hag as a manager who, it's a bit hit and miss. Jonas Eidevall, the Arsenal women's manager, I don't see it. I don't see it. Whatever the club see and why they gave him a new contract, the project he's building, I don't see it. It's his 5th season at Arsenal now.
5th.
It's his 5th season at Arsenal women. And I do not see it.
He's won 2 Continental Cups, lost in a big Champions League semi-final. Like, I'll never forgive him for losing that Champions League semi-final.
Oh, we were there.
I was so vexed, Matthew. I was literally vexed. Like, literally, yeah. The last kick of the game before a penalty shootout, took the defender made a mistake, trying to dribble from the box. The goal just tackled her, rolled it into empty net. Me and Clive were so upset.
But here's the kicker for me. So I'm going to just go through last season's WSL, Women's Super League, the table. So Chelsea were top, win it with 55 points. Man City was second, also on 55 points. Goal difference came into play. Arsenal were third on 50 points, Liverpool fourth on 41, right? So you think 5 points, not too bad. Chelsea scored 71 goals, conceded 18. Man City scored 61 goals, conceded 15. Arsenal scored 53 goals, conceded 20.
Wow.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
We don't score enough goals. We don't even create enough chances. It was the game was so boring, right?
Yeah.
These 2 women behind me for 90 minutes were having a chit chat about work, brunch, the social, the theatre, going out, date. Like,
That was more fun than the game.
at one point, I wanted them to shut up. But then actually, I was like, you know what? This is actually more interesting. I'm like, oh. So then I'm like, oh, so it's really good. You should check this out. And I was like, oh, make a lot of internet. So they were having a whale of a time talking about whatever they're talking about. But the game was so bad. And I think for me, it's really sad because the attendance wasn't that great. It was about 28,000 on the weekend. We have set the record for WSL attendances, and the Emirates is Arsenal Women's home stadium for this season. But like, I just was very disappointed in what fans had to witness.
I honestly feel like I went to the Man City game, yeah? And trust me, that Wiedemar, I know Wiedemar went for Arsenal women.
Wiedemar, yeah.
Once she scored a goal, yeah, oh my gosh. The roof almost came off. They were going for they were running blood. They were angry. They had this young girl and her dad, young woman, not girl, young lady with her dad. And she was saying on the bench, bring on Russo, bring on the other girl, what's her name? Beth Mead. They're both on the bench.
Yeah.
The man took us to be 1-0 down. We're losing the game for him to bring them on, you know. Luckily we could have won that game. Missed so many chances, Matthew. 1-on-1 to the goalkeeper, can't score, can't pass the ball, can't cross the ball. As Clive said, our goalkeeper is very shocking, man. Zinberg with her name. She's shocking, man. She's not a good goalkeeper.
She won the play at Stamford Bridge last year.
Yeah, she made the mistakes.
Oh yeah,
goals.
remember that? Yeah.
I'll be funny, yeah. In the summer, Mary Earpson, England #1 goalkeeper, was available on a free transfer. We tried to buy her from Manchester United during the season. Man United said no. Free transfer, just go and buy her. Now she's gone to PSG, the women's PSG in France.
Her arrival, isn't it?
Why didn't we just get her on a free transfer in the summer and say, you know what, you be our #1 give her a 4-year contract or 5-year contract. You are #1, done. Solid goalkeeper. Defense, Leah Williamson's always going to has a lot of injury problems now.
Yeah.
Because of her serious knee injury she had a couple of seasons ago. So she's going to pick out little niggles here and there. Go and buy a good centre back that can replace her when she's not available. Done.
I don't think there was any issue with the defence in this game.
No, from last
season, yeah.
Last season,
I think the bigger issue for me in the match I watched is that we signed a player called Rosa Kafaji, who is an attacking midfielder, who grew up saying that one of her favourite football players was Ronaldinho, and she wants to try and bring that element to the game. We were playing in a match. We weren't creating nothing. We were creating nothing. Nothing. Like, even the worst Lampard ball would still make more chances than we were doing in that game. And he doesn't bring her on. And I'm just sitting there thinking, the players he brought on, they're not bad players, but they were never going to change the game.
Yeah.
You know, the midfielders he brought on, it's just the same or more of the same. He brought on Baxenius, but there's no one passing the ball through. And I didn't understand why he didn't think, okay, let me bring her on. Let's just see if she can create some kind of chaos in the midfield.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
in fact, how I describe the game is this, yeah. Arsenal set out not to lose. Everton set out not to lose in the first half. Second half, Everton set out to try and win it. Arsenal set out to not lose the game. 3 minutes to go in added on time. Arsenal set out to win the game. Everton were happy for a point. That's how the game went. The first half, I couldn't believe what I was watching. We're the home team and we're not even stressing them. Yeah, we had the ball. Yeah, we passed it around. Got to the edge of the box, came backwards. The amount of times the ball was passed between centre back, goalkeeper, centre back. And it was just going back and forth. I'm just like, can someone just take the ball and just run? Can someone try?
I feel like, I honestly feel like, you know what, like, this is last season at Arsenal, man. He needs to go. If we don't win anything this season, we don't do one in competitions. Maybe sooner or later, because I feel the fans are gonna be the deciding factor for him to stay or go. You know, if the fans stop coming to match at the Emirates, then the club gonna have to make a serious decision that, because you got Lisa Russo, Euro winner,
yeah,
good goal scorer.
Definitely.
You can't get goals. Like can't make a. She hasn't hit double figures last season for us.
They don't make chances for us. We don't make chances for our strikers. So you got her, you got Blackstenius. They're good goal scorers, but then the chances aren't coming. Beth Mead's a good goal scorer.
And she's out of contract in the season. You know, Beth Mead, out of contract in the season. Like she might go to Man City to be next to Miedema. So I'm saying it could happen. So we need to fix up, man. We need to fix up, man, because you know we can't be, because Chelsea women have won it 4 times in a row. Under Emma Smith, Emma Hayes.
She's now left.
She's now left, and now. Who's over Everton?
Right now, it's Man City are top on 7 points. Chelsea are second with 6 points. Brighton are third with 6 points. Man United are doing something well in football. They're in fourth on 6 points. Liverpool and Arsenal both have 5 points each.
And we've got, I think Chelsea and Man U got a game in hand.
And Chelsea, Arsenal play Chelsea this coming weekend. But then the bigger thing with that is that for me, again, let's talk about the goals. Arsenal have only scored 3 goals in 3 games. Man City have scored 5. Chelsea have scored 8 in 2 games, and they're playing in the game this week, midweek.
Even if you had someone like a Bonnie Shaw in that team, yeah, she would struggle to score goals under that manager. If she was in Arsenal's team right now, she would struggle to score goals.
Is he too defensive?
It's not that he's too defensive.
He's too. What's the word?
The football's too pedestrian.
Yeah,
and I think this is the point I really wanted to end on actually. Within this, and then we can do our predictions with footballing institutions. I think it's important to understand the culture of the place you're coming from and what you're trying to bring into it. It's one of the big reasons why Emery at Arsenal didn't work as well, because I think he tried to change too much too soon.
Yeah.
He tried to move away from the Wengerism, the Wenger way of doing things, to his own style, and he didn't bring enough of the old culture with him. Which created a disconnect. I think even the training ground, I think it was from one of the former players was saying that he went around and took down all the pictures of all the old players and all the old achievements. And it's like, you can't rip away the history. I know you want to make a fresh start. It was too drastic. And Arteta came back in and brought those things back. With Ten Hag at Man United now, the men's team, you're seeing a disconnect, because Man United as a club institutionally have a way of playing. They're good at the counter-attacks. They always have good wingers. Yeah. They always have good goal scorers. They have a way of just blitzing you, and it don't matter. They could concede 2 goals, they'll score 4.
Yeah.
With 12 minutes at a time. Hashtag Fergie. You know what I mean? They will just find a way. Liverpool, since Klopp has come in, they've always been exciting, but Klopp brought a whole new level of excitement to their football. So then now Arne Slot's having to match that. He's doing a great job. In his own way, but he's doing a great job. You look at Jonas Eidevall at Arsenal. Arsenal are the most successful women's football team in history. Yeah. They are. That's not up for debate. It's a fact, right? We've got the most FA Cups, we've got the most leagues, and we have won the Champions League, which no one else has done so far. But with that, there's a way we play. Similar to the men's football, is a way we play. And this manager has not been able to replicate that in his time at Arsenal. And in fact, the best period of time he's had at the club is when we've been in a crisis mode. We've had lots of injuries and we've had to kind of work off adrenaline and just had to fight our way through. And that's what led to that cup win, which led to our good performances last season and previous seasons. But when it's all well, he don't really build well. And I think he needs to take a step back. It's a lot of pressure, obviously, and expectation. You're at the Emirates now. You're under the lights. There's no hiding place. Last year, we missed out on Champions League inexplicably in qualifying. This year, it could have happened again. Thankfully, Beth Mead and the others, Stina and Frida Marnham, woke up and said, we ain't having that. We're the Arsenal. And they did their job. He needs to figure out what's the best way to get some creativity back into this team. Because I kid you not, if we play like that against Chelsea, oh God.
Battering. Mastering.
I'm not there, but I would cry. I sold my ticket because I have other things that day. But I would cry because I know it would be painful, and it was painful against Everton. And Everton they are bottom of the table. That was their first point of the season.
So Jonas has gifted him a point, yeah.
No, don't get me wrong. They set up really well. They had a great game plan. And look, but for a good goalkeeping save and a couple other moments, they could have nicked it 1-0. And I'm like, Everton did their job. As the home team, we have to do more we didn't make enough chances. We didn't have enough shots. We didn't even have pot shots out of the box. We didn't try enough. We didn't do enough. It's not the Arsenal.
Is the game next week? Is it Emirates?
Emirates on Saturday. Arsenal versus Chelsea. WSL, Derby Day. The big one. It's the only game everyone cares about. Let's just be honest.
True.
And then nowadays, Chelsea, Man City. But really, it's Arsenal, Chelsea. That's the
big one.
That's the big one. Anyway.
Rant over.
Well, let's do our predictions. Let's come back to the men's game. Let's do our predictions. But Jonas, look, I think he might be on borrowed time. The club might want to give him more time. But I think the fans need to see a progression. They need to start seeing something. Chelsea is a massive game to get things right. I want to see urgency. I want to see enthusiasm. We don't have to beat them 3-0. I think a 1-0 will be fine. But I want a 1-0. We peppered them. And they just managed we only scored one. Rather than a 1-0 and it's the only chance we made. And then we just held on for dear life.
Yeah.
I want to see more of that. Our predictions for the men's game after this most annoying international break. Tottenham Hotspur against West Ham on the 19th. How we see that one going?
West Ham win.
Ooh. Draw. 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw. Fulham versus Aston Villa.
Aston Villa.
Aston Villa 2-1.
Fulham home win. Ipswich, and then West Ham away win, obviously. Ipswich Town versus Everton.
Everton. They're in good form now. They played well against Newcastle. Very unlucky not to win that game. Calvert-Lewin got fouled, but they didn't give a penalty, so they're unlucky.
So Everton.
Ipswich home win.
I'm calling it as well, yeah.
Tractor boys, let's go.
Liam Delap to score. #Rory. Man United versus Brentford at Old Trafford.
Brentford win.
It might be Ten Hag's last game. It might not be.
Brentford win. And Bournemouth to score.
Brentford win and Bournemouth to score.
And Bournemouth to score in 30 seconds in a 2-2 draw.
Draw. I think that'll be Man. You know what? I said it last time around. That'll be Man United's fight back game. Anyway. Same sentiment. Newcastle versus Brighton Hove Albion.
Draw. 2-2 draw.
I'm going Newcastle. They're playing well at the moment.
Brighton just beat Tottenham. 3-2.
It's going to be tight. But I can see,
I think it's going to be a draw.
All right. Southampton, Leicester.
Leicester.
Russell Martin gets it right off the mark. He'll take some positives from the Arsenal game and be like, so we can score. We just need to play defend and stop playing from the back.
So you guys Southampton win.
Southampton win.
Leicester on smoke, but I think they'll get their 3 points. They'll be happy. Ramsdale clean sheet. Bournemouth versus Arsenal away.
Away win. I can't see. We'll beat them strong.
It'll be a tough game. We'll have to work for it.
2-0 win. Away win.
I'm going for a 2-1. It's a very small ground and it's a tough place to play. So yeah, they don't tend to get thrashed there. So yeah I'm going for a 2-1.
Right. And the Sunday, Wolves versus Man City at Molineux.
You know what? Yeah, Wolves have got Man City's number. You know, they've beaten them at Molineux a couple of times. You know,
Gary O'Neill's under pressure. They need a good performance.
I think Man City are going to drop points in this game. Haaland, since Saliba and Gabriel have beaten up Haaland in that last game, Haaland has not scored. Have you not seen that? He has not scored a goal since in the Premier League. I don't know if you've been watching the Premier League. He hasn't scored a goal since that game. Since he scored against Arsenal, he hasn't scored again since. And that's 3 games ago. So I am going to go for a 2-2 draw.
Okay.
I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Wolves. This could be the one.
They're optimistic. I'm realistic. Man City. Liverpool versus Chelsea at Anfield.
You know what? Yeah. Chelsea are in good form this season. They've done very well this season. After the Man City defeat, this is going to be a big test for them.
It's a big test of both teams. I think it's both teams' first big match, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Alisson's injured for a little while.
Oh, sorry, they all played Man United. That's really rude.
and I think Alisson's out for a little while, so they're gonna put Kelleher in goal. That's gonna be a deciding factor. If Kelleher's a good goalkeeper,
but last time he played them, Kelleher in goal, he turned into prime Neuer and kept you guys out. So
it was like the League Cup final, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, this game, Chelsea, Liverpool, Chelsea,
It's
Anfield.
a weird one. It's at Anfield. It's a weird one.
It's hard to call.
It's a weird...
Because Chelsea's record at Anfield is not bad, you know. You got a good record at Anfield.
Well, half decent-ish record there. But I just
Because Joe is a bloody certain man. Like Jeremy Carragher back in the day there, isn't it? Jeremy Carragher had nightmares, isn't it?
Good old days.
Good old days. You know what, yeah? I'm gonna go for a draw, man. I can't see either team winning that game.
I'm actually going for a very exciting 0-0.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a draw, Matthew.
I'm actually backing Chelsea on this one. I might have vested interest, but I'm backing Chelsea on this one. And then Monday night to end the weekend, Nottingham Forest versus Crystal Palace.
Nottingham Forest win. Palace are in the mud this season, man. They're struggling.
You really are.
Since they sold Elise in the summer, they haven't replaced him. And I saw good player, but not Elise. Not Elise quality, man. Nketiah still finding his feet. Mateta hasn't scored a lot of goals. Eze is missing a lot of chances, but he'll become good again. He'll become clutch again. But Palace have to watch their backs, man. They're the bottom of the table, aren't they? Second bottom,
bottom three. And speaking of Eze, like he'll be next to be. He'll be gone. He's not gonna be there forever. He'll be next.
Arsenal, snap him up. You heard it here first.
Yeah, well, Palace are 18th. That's very worrying. So how are you calling that, Matthew?
I'm going for a Forest win.
I think Palace might do something on the road, you know. I'm gonna give it to Palace. Palace win.
Okay.
I think they might surprise us on the road and turn up. But you know, I think a lot of managers got some thinking to do. Jonas, take your time, mate, but think fast. And Erik, you've got 14 days. Hopefully, the P45 doesn't join you. That's us signing out till next time.
Peace out.
Peace.